I have nothing left to say. You're absolutely right.
For the debate on the amendment, Councilor Rivette, Grant.
I want to commend Councilor O'Shaughnessy for his motion. I think it's a step in the right direction for reducing the tax rate. I think we need, I'm totally in favor of this, but I think it's going to get a little further.
Councilor Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I won't support that. It's, to me, this is an investment in our industrial park. We've seen an expansion there. It's important to get the land in question to continue that expansion. And I know that where Councilor O'Shaughnessy is coming from.
One clarification, we haven't eliminated purchasing of the land or the whatever. What we've done is just take a look at the dollars.
I think we understand that. Councilor Grant.
But that's where the dollars are coming from.
Anything else,
Talk around it, but that's where it's coming from. So I won't support it for that reason. I think we need to move in that direction and get that land both from an economic development perspective and also to help our engineering and to move forward in that direction. So I would
Councilor Murphy.
If I may just, through you, Mr. Mayor, to Councilor O'Shaughnessy, first off, congratulations on the idea. But if I'm not mistaken, and maybe the administration can help me out on that, that means that we're still going in that direction. It's just a matter of where the money is coming from.
That would be correct.
That's correct.
If I may also, the money identified was more than just for land. There was some ongoing business burden improvements happening in 2011 that are very, very expensive. And that money may be used for that as well, depending on the extent of those improvements.
But it'll be replenished by the sale of those lands, and so
based on the formula and that Councilor O'Shaughnessy, yes, that's what happened.
Okay, and again, kudos to you, Councilor O'Shaughnessy, for that, and I will support it because of that. And 0.49 is a lot easier to digest than 0.97.
Councilor Carr.
My question through the chair is, if we take this direction, does that give our economic development people the tools that they need to be able to attract new business to our industrial park? Meaning, are we going to have sites that are ready? Mr. Fitzpatrick just talked about, it's not all for the sale of land, it's for services that make that land saleable. And to bring a potential client to the industrial park and say, well, if you're really serious, we'll do these changes. Like sometimes there's pressure on the department, there's pressure on council. I know many times we've been here and we've talked about the purchase of services or land for the industrial park, and there hasn't been a great deal of time to have it under consideration. It required almost immediate action. We're not talking about a huge investment in the industrial park, but if we don't have the land available, properly serviced land that we can get to, then what are we telling potential investors in our community? I have no problems reducing taxes. I'm not against that. But one of the things that everybody's talked about is, if we're going to reduce taxes, we've got to be able to increase assessment and thereby lower the tax rate. And if we don't have the products to sell, meaning service industrial lands, how are we going to attract that increased assessment, thereby lowering the tax rate, maybe the easier for everyone? That's not against the motion.
Councilor Dupel.
Just wanted to get the answer as well from economic development through you, Mr. Chair. Is that going to, if we remove that money from the budget, will that create a problem for you?
Well,
yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. There's no doubt that if we continue on the trend that we're going in, which is fortunately seeing the sale of land and the need for infrastructure improvements, it's difficult to tell when that will be required, but certainly if we continue in the trend that we're going, we will certainly need more land and require more services. So putting money aside for these, for land and services is a prudent idea.
Which brings me back to, it's a good suggestion from Councilor O'Shaughnessy, and I would certainly have liked us to arrive at 0. So this is much better than the 0.9, so I will support the motion.
Councilor McDonald.
Well, I don't support the motion. I think that the necessity that we have to be ready and to appear to be ready in terms of even inspiring confidence in people who would come to shop and look to set up businesses there in Cornwall overrides the value of us manipulating the money in such a way that we take it out of reserves now and pay it back. Let's just go ahead and do it because it needs to be done. And at one point in Mrs. Adams' presentation, we recognized already that in our building services, our reserves are depleted there. I think we should leave our reserves where they are. In fact, we should let them grow to any extent that we can. And let's just take this out of the budget and get it done cleanly and quickly. So I don't support the motion.
Councilor Gardner.
I also won't support the motion. All I've been hearing from business up there is that we need increased assessment. We need to prepare our lands and our property so that when an investor comes in, we're ready for it. It's the same thing in the waterfront.
Before I recognize the move of the motion for a final statement, I will not support the motion either. I just look, in fact, at the investment that we're under obligation to fulfill by the end of this September for the recent sale of the lands for what's the name, properties, boundary properties, and that expansion to the infrastructure required to support that investment is approximately $6 million, I believe. $7 million. Now, we are hoping to get some funding assistance from the other two levels of government. But I doubt very much that under the climate we are presently in both levels of senior government, that we could expect to come anywhere near that amount. So I think it's a small down payment on a huge investment for the future. So, closing remark, Councilor Shaughnessy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't think everybody's grasping what's actually being done here. And through you, Mr. Mayor, to Mr. Fitzpatrick. Mr. Fitzpatrick, are we eliminating doing the work for that $250,000?
If I understand the motion, we're just finding other means in which to pay for it, rather than through the tax base we're taking from reserves, if that's the intent of your motion.
That is the intent of the motion. We are still going to do the $250,000 worth of work. It's not that we're saying we're not going to service or we're not going to buy the land. What we're saying is that we're going to purchase, we're going to do it through reserves. And if that $300,000 surplus would not have come back into the reserves from last year, and I've always looked at surpluses as over taxation, so that was in the previous year, then you're putting that back into work for you this year by taking that $300,000, not passing on $250,000 through taxation, and putting that money back out to work for you. There has been no elimination of any work that was going to be done in the industrial park with that $250,000. We're just financing it through reserves with an offsetting revenue in the future so that you don't pass those things on through as taxation. Thank you.
Question? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. I'm sorry, pardon me, yes.